G'day and welcome to Wine Week. I'm Danny.
And I'm Brad.
And Brad, you're going to kick us off this week?
Kick us off with a little red bargain. This has actually been on my quaffing list for a little while now, and if you haven't had it yet, it should probably be on yours too. And this is the Cookathama Cabernet Merlot. Now this is the 2007 vintage. Now Cookathama, we've had a look at their Darlington Point Shiraz. We had a look at that last year from the 07 vintage as well. Both great wines, and the best thing about these ones from the guys at Newgan Estate is that they've managed to keep the price really reasonable. Look, in fact, we picked this up on discount at sub $15, which is incredible value, and recommended retail in the high teens, but you will see it around the place around 15, and at that, it's just great drinking. It is one of your sort of everyday quaffing wines, but it's got enough in there, enough balance and complexity that if you lay it down for a couple of years and some nice little fine tannins in there, they'll round it out quite nicely. But if you haven't got onto the Cookathama Darlington Point range yet, then do yourself a favour, get out there right now, because both the Shiraz and the Cab Merlot are fantastic value for money.
Yeah, they also do a ripping Botrytis Semillon that's also great value for money, so look out for that. Now, speaking of dessert wines, the one I'm going to have a look at this week, the Seppelt Field Para. Now, Para, and the name is it's a river in the Barossa, but it's probably best known around the country as this port. Now, it's a tawny style port, which means it's got loads and loads of barrel complexity in there, and this is one of the great things about Para liqueur ports. You know, they talk about rancio characters. Now, rancio, if you try and explain it to somebody, it's kind of the flavour of wet wood. Now, that doesn't sound all that appealing on its own, but it is actually a beautiful characteristic of older fortified wines, and we see it in the muskets and tokais from Rutherglen. We see it in the great ports from around Barossa, and it's so visible in the Paras, whether you're talking about this, the Grand, which is kind of the entry point, or all the way up to the 100-year-old, which is possibly Australia's finest wine. And that is a big call, but one that I'm actually prepared to stand behind in some regards. $1,000+ a bottle, 100-year-old wine, and that rancio character definitely visible, along with beautiful fruit flavours. And it is a great wine, a great celebration wine, and great for the chilly winter months like we're experiencing here down under.
Yeah, it has been a little bit chilly, and I must admit I've got into the fortifieds myself this week. Now, actually going to finish off with a Chardonnay, and we've probably been doing a lot of our usual Rieslings recently, but look, there are some great Chardonnays out there at the moment, and this is an example of one of them going around that's really good value for money too, and this is the Seppelt Jaluka Chardonnay, based here in Victoria from the Henty region, actually from the Drumborg vineyard. For those who would know, the Seppelt Drumborg Riesling is one of the best Rieslings in Australia. It comes from the same spot there. Now, this Chardonnay, again, it's one of those ones that probably over the years has followed that pattern with Chardonnay in Australia, where it might have had a little bit too much oak in the past, a little bit too much of the malolactic fermentation, giving it that buttery character. But if you open this up now, the winemaking has really got the balance right. It's got really nice, subtle use of the French oak in there. And again, great thing here is the price. We actually, again, pick this up under $20 a bottle, which for a really good Aussie Chardonnay like this, that is really, the last couple of vintages have been consistently really good, good quality wine, and great for the price point as well. So the Seppelt, across their range, they're doing some great work, but their Chardonnay in particular is worth having a look at as well if you haven't already.
Yeah, it is a ripper, that one. We love lots of the things coming out of Seppelt, and we might even talk about one of those next week. Anyhow, that's enough for this week. We'll see you all then.
See you next week.